This is truly my most requested look. Every time I have this on my face, you guys want to know what's on my face, how I did it, especially the eyes. The smoky eye, I know it's so good. This is like my go-to glam. Whenever I want to feel cute and confident, this is what I'm gonna do. Here's a step-by-step tutorial, literally all of the details on how you can achieve the look. Skin prep is important before you put your makeup on, so let me tell you what I have on already. I washed my face and then I went in with the Peach Slices Acne Exfoliating Toner. Been using this for a little bit and I do really like it, especially during those like times of the months. Like it helps just control those breakouts that I get. And then I went in with my moisturizer by Tatcha. This is the Dewy Skin Cream. Very rich, really nice. And under my eyes, I have the Tatcha Brightening Eye Cream. I've been testing this out. I think it's my second week now using this. Really like it. It's gentle and I do find that it's helping brighten like my dark circles under my eyes. And then I put these Beekman 1802 eye patches on to let that like eye cream really soak into the skin. Now let's talk about the makeup. To prime my eyes, I'm going in with my Armani concealer. This is a Luminous Silk Concealer in the shade 5.25. I really like this concealer because it does provide some coverage, but it's not super full coverage. I just find that when the eyeshadow primer is like too stark on my lid, it just doesn't look as like natural. And I just literally blend it out with my finger. Put a little bit on. To set that concealer, I like going in with a pressed powder. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury one and I'm just picking it up on this Makeup by Ariel and Morphe brush. Is the A14. I'm just going to set that concealer down before I go in with any eyeshadow. You don't need too much of this. You just really want like a thin layer. Like I only dip into the powder once. I just make sure everything is nice and set. I'm going in with this Baked Browns palette by Dose of Colors. I'm going to grab this transition shade and really start working this into my crease. And I use this shade to really kind of start like the shape of the eyeshadow look. What I like to do is I stop at the tail end of my brow. And that's how I know like how far out I need to blend. Also, what's nice about doing your eyeshadow first is that you can always go in after and clean it up. So don't worry about like being a little messy over here. I use the rougher 01 brush to blend that transition shade. Now I'm gonna build up the color like right on my lid. I think I may go in with this like more rust color. I normally do like a darker brown. Actually, let's just do that for today's look so I can show you what that looks like. And I focus this like right on the center of the lid. That's where it's gonna be the darkest. And then I diffuse from there. So the inner corner, I just make sure it has like a domed curve. Just because of my eye shape, I have more of an almond eye. I'm taking my Houdani HD2 brush and I'm just gonna blend that perimeter of the eyeshadow just to blend it into my transition shade, but I'm not really gonna touch the lid part. I just want to blend the edges out. This will help create the gradient in the eyeshadow. Once you've blended that dark shade on the lid, it should look something like this, really diffused. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here. There are names to these. I don't know why I'm guessing. Hold on. Outdoorsy is a shade that we're going to go in with now. This is a Just Up brush. This is a 223. It's an eyeshadow blender. And again, I'm going to put this right in between the transition shade and the dark shade for even more dimension. And you don't want to touch that lid shade because you want that to stay dark. This is just going to add another layer of like gradients to the eye. Do you see how that just like tied it together a little more? When I'm doing this, I keep my eyes open and I look straight so that I can really focus on the placement of the eyeshadow. I'm using my Get Stoned palette and I'm going to use this shade right here. It's called Old Money. I'm literally just going to pick it up on my finger and apply it right in the center of the lid, and I'm just going to pat it, the bulk of it here, and also like around the lid to get more of that like twinkled scatter, but the focus of the shimmer is going to be right in the center. It was such a good palette. I think this palette is currently sold out. They sold out during the holidays, and I think she may be restocking. This palette is from a small business, but I'm pretty sure, I think I just saw a video the other day that she will be restocking her palette soon. Don't forget to add your brow highlight. I'm using the cream shade from the Baked Browns palette. I'm adding this eyeliner by Dose of Colors. This is in the shade Espresso. I really like this eyeliner. It's creamy, but I think it's also waterproof because this thing does not move once it dries down, it's there. So I added a half lash in my favorite mascara. These are on my Amazon storefront. If you have a more almond shaped eye and you haven't tried half lashes, literally game changer, because they keep the front part of your eye open so they don't close your eyes off. And then I've really been loving the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize Volume Mascara. Now we're going to move on to complexion. I'm going to go in with a little bit of this iconic London Velvet Smooth Pore Refining Primer. I love this stuff. This launched last year and it works really, really well, especially if you have like larger pores. It's a more hydrating pore refining formula, which is why it works for my dry skin. Like, how is everybody's attention span doing right now? Like, let's check in. Do I need to tell you to get a snack? Like, I'm drinking coffee. For foundation today, I'm using the new Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. This is the Impeccable foundation, and I'm using the shade 2WP. Just gonna go ahead and like dot this on the face, and then we'll blend it out. Do you guys see how I have like some acne over here? Just wait till you see how well it covers these spots up. This is definitely a full coverage foundation, and it does not feel heavy on the skin either. I normally stay away from full coverage foundations because they're just too heavy for my dry skin, but this one works really, really well. Kind of just like looks like skin. It just gives really good coverage. This is so incredibly pigmented. I just need to touch my skin like this and that's literally enough. I really do like the way this stick does blend out though. I just like, look how nice that is. It just adds a nice little touch of warmth. I'm also gonna contour my chin a little, just like this. When I do my chin, because I focus the product at the front, I extend it back like this. And I also take it like right behind the ear. I think the trick with makeup is just knowing where to place makeup on your face. Where I place my contour may not be the same place you would want to place your contour, just depending on like the features that you're trying to highlight and bring forward and where you're trying to create shadow on your face. It really like is custom to what you need. I've been loving my Makeup Forever blush palette, and today I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, and then this more peach shade right next to it, and then I'm also gonna tap into this like more glowy shade. But I love the formula in these pans. I just always have so much fun using this palette because I just feel like every single time I use it, I'm making my own custom blush shade. I'm gonna go in with this like lighter pink shade right here. When someone asks me, what blush are you wearing? like 4 or 5. This blush palette though is really what I've been reaching for. Now for concealer, I'm using the Natasha Denona. This is in the shade P2. And I apply this like pretty far down on the under eye. I don't like applying it too far up because I find when I do that, it just creases a lot more. So if I focus it down here, this is where I want the brightness in the under eye anyway. I'm also going to go in with a little bit on my chin, and then right on the corners of my mouth, I'll angle it upwards for more just like shape on the face. I'm also going to take this in between the brow. I'm taking my sponge and I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the concealer. I always leave the under eye for last. Now I'm going back in with the Makeup Forever blush palette, and I'm going to grab that pink shade right down here. And I'm going to use this to blend the concealer and the blush back together, just like this. I'm going to take this like highlighting shade right here. I like mixing both of these shades, and I'm going to add my cream highlight right up here. You can also take that like down your nose a little bit. To set, I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Peach Pie. This is the Easy Bake powder. I literally went right in, and then I'm gonna smooth that out on the back of my hand here, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and set. Look how smooth that looks. This is the before, the after. I'm going in with my House Labs bronzer. This is in the shade light level 4. Yeah, and I'm using this It Cosmetics. It's an angled like powder brush. Just kind of hugs those areas of the cheek perfectly. Just like this. I like patting it into the skin. To set the rest of the face, I'm going to go with my Charlotte Tilbury powder. And again, I'm using another It Cosmetics powder brush. I'm just going to set my forehead here. Right down here on the chin. For blush, you already know I'm using Kosas Dreamland. This is one of my favorite blushes. Just feel like it's the perfect shade. And then obviously like you build the blush up to your level of preference. I love blush, so I make sure that you can see it. To finish off the eyes, it's actually really simple. I'm just going to use my Dose of Colors eyeliner in my waterline, grabbing the 03 brush by Rephr, and I'm going to use this shade right here. I think this one was Outdoorsy. I'm just going to start blending this on the lower lash line. Also, if you have fine lines underneath your eyes and you're not putting eyeshadow on your lower lash line, it's a game changer. Trust me, it like hides your fine lines. You just make them a part of your eyeshadow look, and it just always works so well for me. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the darkest shade and actually apply it on the outer corner of the eye. Before we do the lip combo, I'm gonna go ahead and set my makeup. I'm gonna use the ABH Impeccable Setting Spray. It is such a fine setting spray. You don't really even feel it hitting the skin. Okay, we're gonna do the lip combo. Obviously, I can't talk when I do this, but I'm gonna use Rimmel Brownie Pie. Blend the lip liner out. I'm gonna use Flesh Pot by MAC. I'm gonna take that same brush. To finish it off, I'm gonna use a lip gloss. This is in the shade See Through. Now the finishing touch, I'm gonna go back in with the lip liner. I almost forgot mascara on the lower lash line. Don't forget to do that. It does make a difference. This is the finished Glam. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first YouTube video back. Like, I haven't done a makeup tutorial like this in a really long time, but truly this is like my go-to glam. If I have to be anywhere, if I want to feel good and look good, like this is what the type of makeup that I'm gonna reach for or do on myself. A good like smoky eye with a little bit of shimmer and a nude lip, it's just gonna do it for me every single time. I will leave all of the makeup details in the caption. Go follow me on Instagram, and if TikTok is still around, I'll be over there too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you later.